Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. And again, I forgot to. There we go. We are back. This is the Collapse Experiment. Sorry, I forgot to hit the record for the podcast version of this show. You can also find me on Spotify and other podcast outlets. And if you like this content, you should like and subscribe, share the videos if you so please. And yeah, this is this is about the upcoming new Patriot Act, if you will, seeing that even that bill has itself become a meme, which just means it's the exact opposite of what it says it is. Yeah, so this whole new ban on TikTok, which I find to be hilarious because, again, the government is trying to tell us that we cannot make coherent decisions for ourselves as to what we would like to consume. Although I will admit, if it is legitimately true that TikTok is spying on us, collecting our information, it's going into the hands of the Chinese Communist Party, all the things that they say it's doing, then yeah, ban TikTok. But the stuff that is in this bill that they say is just banning TikTok, it's not. And let's get into that. So, this article that I found, beingcrypto.com, you can find a link to this at thecollapseexperiment.com. VPN users risk 20-year jail sentences in the US under new Restrict Act. This is the bill that's supposed to ban TikTok from being available here in the United States, which is why platforms like YouTube here are really doing a lot to promote their short videos because they want to be a competitor against TikTok. And once TikTok is gone, where are people going to get their little booty shaking, weird hot dog in the face? What other kind of weird stuff did I see that was being posted on TikTok? I don't know. I'm not on there. I have zero interest in TikTok whatsoever. I understand that it's basically designed to de-educate our youth and make us dumber than we already are. So yeah, let's get into this article. The TikTok ban bill, which again is not what it says it is, targets more than just social media. The state would be able to police all communication platforms. All. VPNs would be included with violators facing up to $1 million in fines for using a VPN, which really protects you from all kinds of weird, goofy stuff. Yeah, so if you're using a VPN, well, apparently that's illegal. Now, I did not know that was an illegal thing, but I guess if this bill passes, then it will be illegal and you could pay up to $1 million. The bill, dubbed the Restrict Act, that was submitted to Congress, could have severe consequences for virtual private networks users in the United States. And this is just one thing that they're focusing on with this bill. There's several other issues emerging from this. And I'm going to point out this has bipartisan support. So both sides. Although I'm hearing a lot, the people who are defending TikTok tend to be Democrats, and I'm not really surprised about that because if there's anybody who would support mindless activities that help brainwash youth into doing weird things that they otherwise would not do, it'd be the Democratic Party. I mean, that's kind of what they're good at. Let's see here. U.S. lawmakers are widening their sights when it comes to cracking down on finance and technology. The bipartisan restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology. Restrict. That's why it's called the Restrict Act. What kind of a mess of words is that? Restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology. Okay, So clearly they don't want anybody to understand what this is, which is why they pick one word and then they say, oh, we're banning TikTok. It was unveiled early in March. It was initially dubbed the TikTok ban bill, but has far wider ramifications. Furthermore, VPN users could face hefty fines or jail sentences under the bill. Communications and VPN tech targeted. People often legitimately use VPNs services to add an extra layer of security for web communications. Fair enough, as they should. Furthermore, they allow users to mask or change their internet address. This is often required to access content that may otherwise be blocked or censored. Kind of sketchy, but whatever. The bill, if passed, would attempt to identify information and communications technology, products, and services holdings that pose undue or unacceptable risk. This could include VPNs if they are used to access banned websites such as TikTok. How dare you access TikTok and become dumber than you already are? But you have that right. I firmly believe you have that right. If you want to indulge in watching every season of Friends for the next 6 months, you have that right. I can't say you'd be any better for it, but good for you. You have that freedom. The bill specifically directs the Secretary of Commerce. Yeah, because we need a secretary for that. To identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, or otherwise mitigate national security risk associated with technology linked to countries adversarial to the US. Well, I guess that kind of sounds good. Maybe. The bill also has a long list of communications technologies it intends to scrutinize. These include web hosting, cloud services, content delivery services, drones, payment applications, gaming applications, artificial intelligence, and e-commerce. That's everything. Everything on the internet. And then let's see here, the Mises Caucus. The Restrict Act not only limited to just TikTok, it gives the government authority over all forms of communication, domestic or abroad, and grants powers to enforce any mitigation measures to address any risk to national security now and in any potential future transaction. This sounds like a thought crime type thing. We think you might do something we don't like. Okay, enforce any mitigation measure to address any risk to national security now and in any potential future transaction. You haven't even done it yet. Weird. The scary part is the potential punishment for violators. This includes fines up to $1 million or 20 years in jail or both. If it's 20 years, it's not jail, that's prison. Why do they never get this stuff right? Moving forward with TikTok ban. According to reports on March 27th, lawmakers are moving forward with the bill, as they would, because they never read this shit. This follows the grilling of TikTok CEO Xiaozi Chu last week. The Chinese social media platform has an estimated 150 million users in the United States. That's almost half the country. Yep. Okay, makes sense now. House of Representatives Speaker Kevin McCarthy said the House would be moving forward with the bill. Kevin McCarthy, you are useless. You don't know how to read, and clearly you don't understand the Constitution and the ramifications of this bill, which is completely unconstitutional and needs to be fought already and not passed anywhere at any time. If you want to ban TikTok, one piece of paper, one piece of paper, you write on it, TikTok no longer allowed in the United States. It can't be on any app, outsourced, blah, 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 no downloads, yada, yada, yada. No TikTok. One page. What is this garbage? Why are you not reading it? Clearly, this is the stuff that you want. It's very concerning that the CEO of TikTok can't be honest and admit that we already know to be true. China has access to TikTok user data. Duh. I seem to remember an orange man that was saying this years ago. The House will be moving forward with legislation to protect Americans from technological tentacles of the Chinese. The technological tentacles? I think I know what kind of anime he's watching. Of the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, this sounds like some World War II, the Jews are controlling the world rhetoric here, like the Nazi weird propaganda of like the octopus engulfing the globe type thing. Not liking it at all. And yeah, to protect Americans. Clearly not from you, because the stuff that they want to throw into this bill is worse than what the Chinese allegedly are already doing. If passed, the new legislation will grant the U.S. government sweeping powers to crack down on any technologies and services it sees as a threat. Okay, so eBay starts selling weird things that other people don't like. I mean, is that going to be on the list? Remarkably, that includes VPN technology. Those opposing the bill say it will give the state the power to police the entire internet and any platforms on it, which they've already been doing through back channels. So are we really surprised? And this is just them trying to solidify all the shady crap they were doing before. Those opposing, let's see here. Furthermore, some referred to it as the Chinification of America, which is 100% true. The legislation is frighteningly similar to that in China, which has some of the world's harshest internet censorship. Yeah. And I believe it goes further than that. Now, this is just one article that I found. I do have, and I highly suggest people go watch it. I do have a link to The Quartering, who did a nice rundown on the other things that are in this bill. The ban TikTok bill is legit terrifying and must be stopped, far worse than the Patriot Act. Yeah, right. Because this includes like all your communications, all your banking transactions, everything. And yeah, they can just deem you a threat, and because you post something, lock you away. Which again, this is all clear violations of the first and is it the fourth or fifth amendment for illegal search and seizure. Clearly, it goes against several of your rights, and this is what Congress wants. And of course, we're heading towards war with China and Russia and probably Iran and probably North Korea. Let's just throw everybody in the mix here, right? Because they're all allies of each other. Probably against Saudi Arabia too, because Saudis don't clearly like us anymore, and they're siding with the other party who probably would win the outcome of such an event. But anyways, we have this event that appears to be coming our way, and the best way to keep control of your own population who probably doesn't want to engage in these activities, the best way to control them is through this policing the internet. And any talk of, you say something that the government doesn't like perhaps we shouldn't be defending Ukraine. You could say something as simple as that, and they would lock you up for disinformation, whichever they term they decide to use at the time. Yeah, this is what they're working towards, and you can also find the actual bill itself in its entirety. I do have a link at thecollapseexperiment.com. And you can go through it yourself and see what kind of crap is in here. It is a little lengthy, but hey, if you want to actually do the work that Congress thinks that they're not supposed to, I doubt that AOC is going to sit down and actually read all of this, um, or anybody else for that matter. Just tell me what's in it. Ah, sounds good. I hate TikTok. Yeah. So this is what's coming our way. I don't know why this is getting such support other than um they're just they're hiding it as the TikTok thing, right? I also think it's weird that, at the same time that they're debating this and arguing this, we have a lot of weird stuff going on in the country that seems to be overshadowing this. I don't know, like mass shooters in Catholic schools or Christian schools, whichever, I forget which one it was. Um, Bunch of train derailments everywhere, things happening overseas, yada yada yada. But in the meantime, they're coming to take it. Like, this is more serious than Second Amendment stuff here. This right here. Because this restricts you from fighting for your Second Amendment rights or speaking of. Um, that's what this would do. You shut down the First Amendment and you can't argue to keep any others. And that's what this does. So, um, where do we go from here? That's a great question. And I have zero answers because I have no faith in the people who are running this country as of right now. None. When this gets as far as it already has and nobody is looking at the ramifications or the violations that are clearly stated in this for no reason whatsoever. The Patriot Act, we actually had an act of war take place against the country. The counterterrorism bill from what, 96, after Oklahoma, we had Oklahoma City. How they're pushing this through without the public being up in arms about keeping their rights, I have no idea, other than this is the conspiracy side of me. Perhaps something is on its way that they know about, and this will get pushed through. Because it seems like when bills like this pop up, they wait for something that conveniently happens in order to get this shoved through. Because everybody's like, "Oh, you need to protect us," and why didn't you do anything? Well, if we had this bill here and we didn't have TikTok, it wouldn't have happened. Yeah, that's usually the argument after the fact. Well, if we would have just signed the bill beforehand, it all could have been. Yeah, no. This takes away every single First Amendment right. It completely rips the internet away from freedom and availability for all to share information, um, good or bad. And this this just needs to be shoved into a fireplace and set on fire. This does not need to see the light of day ever again. And unfortunately, even if this doesn't pass, they'll shelve it somewhere and then something will happen and they'll pull it out and be like, "Hey, look, we have this thing that could do a lot for us." And then all of a sudden it gets shoved through with nobody really fighting against it. This is a horrible bill, and God, I hope it doesn't pass. So, if you were scared about things beforehand, and if you remember the ramifications of the Patriot Act, and if you remember other things that, I don't know, Obama signed into law through the NDAA, it's not even a law because I mean, it was passed through Congress, but it's supposed to be funding for the Pentagon. And yet they add little stipulations into the National Defense Authorization Act every time, stripping more rights away and passing things that otherwise wouldn't go through Congress. Oh, we'll just add this line here. We'll do this thing here. And next, people are being detained indefinitely in solitary confinement over in Washington, D.C. For going on 2 years now for no reason without being charged for a crime or going before a judge. Thanks, Obama. Keep on typing.